Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be talking about film lighting. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how I use one light to light this whole project. I use one light for a whole film. Guys, you want to stay tuned and understand what I did. The biggest difference between the big budget filmmaking and the low budget filmmaking is not the lens, is not the camera, but it's simply the way you utilize the light in your room. Be it natural lighting, like when you're shooting outside or when you're shooting inside, it's still the same techniques that apply to it. The contrast, the shadow, and the highlight. I myself am an indie filmmaker. I shoot every of my stuff with my gears here. It's not a lot of gears. So actually, I just got this 70 to 200 yesterday, and I've had this Sigma 24 to 70 for a while now, and I've been using it on this my Blackmagic 6K Pro full frame. I usually use the ordinary 6K Pro. I heard that Blackmagic is announcing a new release of a full frame, and the full frame is something that we don't ever say no to. Although that doesn't mean that Super 35 is not good. This movie about this Ellison right now that we're talking about right now, I actually shot it completely on Super 35 with just one lens, with just a 35mm lens. You can make an outstanding film with just your mobile phone, but you have to be able to understand lighting. I needed to light this scene. For example, I only have one light lighting this scene, so which is coming from this direction. As you all know, like this side of my face is lit, and then this side is a bit falls in the dark, but then I have a white wall here that's bounced back the light, so that's why here is filling up, and I have my laptop here with the light in front of the laptop, so it's filling up the space. So, and then with the light on the window, that is actually just a fairy light that I can pick up on Amazon for $10 or so. That's the one outside there. Then this one is just a table lamp. I just, can pick it up from any hardware store.
Ndị Igbo si na nwata akwọ n'azụ amaghị na iche dị ofu. Drugs take you to hell, disguised as heaven. This is hell. I want to stop, but I don't know how to.
One thing I do in a space when I come into a space is I try to look at how the environment looks like. First of all, you need to see a shadow. You need to see an extreme darkness, if not necessarily an extreme darkness, but everywhere that light is coming in from, you have to get it shot. The next thing you want to do is to start opening the window. Just ask the director, where is his character going to be settling down? Is the character going to be settling down in this space? Is he going to be walking from this point to that point? Is he going to be facing the window? How do you want it to look like? On a professional set, you guys get to hear everything from the pre-production.
Do you grow fondness for torment, or do you run from it? The unintentional admiration we give to anything that could get us stoned. All looks like it. It's hurried and elating at the same time.
The mood of the scene is just probably showing that there's an absence of love. That's one. There's also an absence of care. There's an absence of fatherhood or like a parenthood. So she's gradually learning the things that she's seen around her. The dad is a smoker, the mom is no more. So first of all, one thing I did was I was able to close all the windows. I was like, okay, since she's gonna be rolling this, I will put her in a space that actually keeps her a little bit on the lights and a little bit in the dark, because that's what the scene is all about. It has to have a mood. So one thing you also need to be aiming for when you're lighting a scene is that you're going to actually be looking at what exactly tells the story the more, because the director is telling a story. As a DP, you're also telling a story, so everybody is aligning under one particular script to bring the story to reality. So because if I've seen a movie and I don't think, no, this story is not good, I wouldn't want to see your creative work. So we're all telling the story. So I had to put the girl in the scene, in the settings where I have this light coming all the way from the window. So if you look carefully, there's a window just right in front of her here, and then the window is kind of giving the light. And then I never mind to I didn't mind having dark shadows, because dark shadows sometimes also tell the story, you know. So it was just the light striking the front of it, no diffusion, nothing. I just wanted it to be that strong. So another thing again that also contributes to your storytelling is actually the costumes. She was wearing a brown cloth that has the check stuff in the front of it like this. So this is actually because I wanted everything around her to absorb light instead of bounce light back. Because here we're looking at a girl that is just going through a lot in her mind. She's just trying to take a space out to chill. So the clothes she was wearing was supposed to absorb the light, so I had to give her a brown because I just wanted to be like against what other color is around the space. Just like I said, I'm an indie filmmaker, so sometimes I do costuming myself. I have to look for color palettes. Okay, this is what I want for the costumes and all those things. Then another powerful part of this light design is also set. For it, I'll give you an instance. If your set have a wall, if you're shooting in a space where the wall is kind of reflective, a little bit reflective, you don't want to do that. The reason is because once the light is bouncing on the wall, the light is going to just be everywhere, and the idea of lighting is to control the light. So if you cannot control the light, that's where you have a problem. You must always make sure all the light in your space is being like managed properly. That's why I tell you, when you come into a space you want to light, shut the whole windows off, see extremely darkness, then start opening look for anything that the director says, or if you're the director, maybe you consider placing your actors in a place where they can be able to access the natural light that is coming. If you look at the window, is quite open, and it was a daylight, proper daylight, and the sun was coming in through the window. But I didn't actually base on the sun. What I did was I had to put another light there, so the light's now coming in. It feels like as if the sun is just filling up the space, but it's just one. This whole scene was shot. It was one light.
Just one, and I will dispose the rest. I don't feel anything. Maybe 3 more, and I'll feel something. But how can something be so delicate yet induce unimaginable peace and solemnity? All the pieces clutched up together like there was never a crack in my heart.
So yeah, the film is right here on the channel. The full movie is out, so you can go ahead and watch it. It's just a 7-minute short film, but it has a lot to tell. This is just a random talk about how the scene was lit. And if you have any question, please leave a comment below. And also, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe so I can make more videos. Personally, I've shot the film by myself from start to finish, but we'll talk about that in the next episode.